Now here we go. Nice. The Cows will do this and scramble like a maniac.
He was able to switch the position. Now Beneil rolls to the leg lock here. He's going to use this to sweep.
Let's take a closer look. Beneil blitzes in with a combination, intending to finish it off with a low leg kick. But Gamrot times a nice double leg as Beneil's hips square up during the kick, and by keeping his head on the inside, he avoids getting kneed in the head. At this point, Beneil's base is very narrow, and he's standing very tall, which makes it much easier for Gamrot to take him down. So Beneil sprawls, loading his weight over Gamrot's back, dropping his hips, and shooting his legs back. But because of the grip that Gamrot has on his leg, he has to use his right arm as a post to prevent him from getting his back to the mat. Meanwhile, he has a whizzer with his left arm, which keeps Gamrot from getting to his back. But in order for Beneil to avoid taking bottom position, he needs to free his right leg. So while keeping his weight on his right arm and left leg, he points his toe and slides his leg out from Gamrot's grip. This is the same motion as a technical stand-up, one of the most fundamental movements. Now Gamrot switches to a single leg, so Beneil begins to turn away from him to push off of his head and drive his left leg forward to escape. Gamrot lifts Beneil's leg and uses his head to drive Beneil to his left to off-balance him, but his feet get out from under his hips, and he loses his footing. Notice how he instinctively frames against Beneil's right arm. This prevents Beneil from getting a crossface and flattening him on the mat. But as he feels himself losing control of that frame, he decides to move to turtle to avoid giving Beneil side control. But of course now he's exposing his back. So Beneil moves to his right side, gets a seatbelt grip, and inserts his knee between Gamrot's right arm and leg. If Gamrot doesn't do anything, Beneil will pull him into his back control, so Gamrot does a forward roll to continue the scramble. Beneil rolls with him to stay on his back, but at this point he no longer has his seatbelt grip, and Gamrot underhooks his right leg, so all Gamrot needs to do is keep his hips above Beneil's and drive into him to force Beneil onto his back. There is an opportunity for Beneil to attack a triangle, but the angle isn't great, as he would have to push off of Gamrot's neck with his right leg to rotate his body around, but his leg is in a very weak position to generate force. So instead Beneil tries to escape. He builds up onto his elbow to create some more space for him to pull his right leg back, but as long as Gamrot stays committed to controlling that leg and drives forward, it's hard to slip out. Gamrot's goal here is to stack Beneil, driving his legs towards his head and then dump his legs over to his right to secure side control. So Beneil gets up on his shoulders to make it more difficult for Gamrot to crunch his legs. As Beneil frees up his left leg, he's almost entirely eliminated Gamrot's ability to get him into side control. If Gamrot drives into him, Beneil has tons of space to bring his left leg between them. So Gamrot gives up the control on that leg, allowing Beneil to move to turtle, and goes in for a body lock. Now instead of staying in turtle, Beneil gets up to his feet, which forces Gamrot to be more upright on his knees to keep the body lock, which gives Beneil a small window to roll for a leg lock. But Gamrot was very quick to block Beneil's left leg, which keeps Beneil from completely isolating his leg. So Beneil abandons the leg attack and uses this position to sweep. Beneil kicks his leg forward, which makes Gamrot's right leg light. Then he gets control of it. So now Gamrot no longer has a post here, so when Beneil chops Gamrot's body over to that side, Gamrot falls over. Beneil lifts up on Gamrot's leg as it forces him to post on the mat with his left arm. But Gamrot uses that same technical stand-up motion, posts on the mat with his left arm and right leg to elevate his hips, then pulls his leg out from Beneil's grip. But Beneil quickly gets back to his feet to avoid giving Gamrot control of his back, and they're both on their feet again.